And now, live from San Francisco, it's Barbara Simpson on Hot Talk 560, KSFO.
Yes, if it's drums you hear, the babe is near. That's me. I'm Barbara Simpson. I'm the babe in the bunker, and I am with you right here on Hot Talk 560 KSFO. Our phone number, so you can call us if you'd like to. It's talk show. I talk, you listen. You talk, I listen. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I have outside guests, which we do today, as a matter. This first hour, we have a guest, and I'm very much looking forward to talking with her. Those of you who are regular listeners to my program know that we've talked extensively over the last several years, on and off, with Mimi Steele, who is the president of the Area Citizens Alliance for Property Rights, CAPR, C-A-P-R. Well, you know, that's not just a local outfit. They are all over, and in fact, there is a chapter down in Orange County and San Diego County, and Mary Baker is the president of that, and she happened to be in the area. I was not able to get together with her in person, but we're going to have her on the program right now, as a matter of fact, to talk about what they're doing down there, and that she also has something, some training program that she has on, quote, how to become a citizen ninja. And you need to know because you can learn how to do it. She's a graduate of Middlebury College. As I mentioned, she's acting president of the chapters down in San Diego and Orange County. She's on the board of the California Eagle Forum and the San Diego County Federated Republican Women Group, and also developing a local initiative down there for activism for the county of San Diego. She's a researcher. She writes articles and opinions. She has a blog. And she started this workshop last year with her training manual called How to Become a Citizen Ninja. So first of all, let me welcome to my program, Mary Baker. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hi, Barbara. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Well, I don't know whether you can listen to my program down there. You can on the Internet, but we're here every weekend, and we certainly know, myself and my audience, we know quite a bit about what the CAPR is. What are you doing down in your area with the organization?
Well, we wanted the chapter because what we found is when we would go to meetings, city council meetings, SANDAG meetings, which is our version of ABAG, our Metropolitan Planning Organization, there were always the usual suspects, NGOs that would show up, Sierra Club, Nature Conservancy, Surfrider Foundation, et cetera. And we thought, wow, so where's the conservative or the property rights or the small business NGO?
Right.
Where are they to balance out the conversation? And we found that, unfortunately, just being one single citizen getting up and speaking was very difficult. Even though you're representing many, many taxpayers, we found that we really needed our own NGO. And so we started our chapter down here at CAPR, and it really actually has helped a tremendous amount. It gives us credibility. We have an organization behind us. And really, we've been able to do quite a few things down here. I know, San Diego County, as opposed to the San Francisco Bay Area, is small, even though San Diego is one of the largest cities in the country.
Yeah, I was surprised to find that out, as a matter of fact, when they elected their new mayor down there, the Republican, which surprised the pants off of everybody. I was surprised to find out how big a city San Diego is. They said that having him as Republican mayor of that city, he's the Republican mayor of the largest Republican city in the country, never mind California.
Yeah.
I was astounded.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. It is. It's true. But it's one county. It's a large county, but it's not as big as San Bernardino County or Los Angeles County,
Right.
which is right to our north. And it's certainly not as area encompassing as, the 9 Bay counties, that surround the Bay Area.
Right.
So what Mimi Steele and others, Arlene Curley, are having to face up there, Heather Goss, in addressing those regional plans down here, it's just a little bit easier to tackle. Also, even though there are actually more Democrat voters in San Diego County, it does tend to be more conservative. Like even in the Democrat Party, you will still find those traditional conservative, self-reliant Democrats. And so they tend to not, vote for things the way they would up there. But you certainly still have, some of the representatives on Sandag who are buying into this sustainable development, smart growth planning. But, honestly, I think it's more because of money and prestige and legacy than it is because of the environment.
Let me ask you this. What are they trying to do down there in terms of, you mentioned the One Bay Area plan up here for the 9 Bay Area counties. What are they trying to do in your area?
It's really similar, but in a smaller scale. So the county, it's such a gorgeous county. I mean, you can go from the beach to the inland horse ranches, out to the more agricultural, side of things, and then all the way to the desert. You can do that in one day.
Right.
You could do a whole circle and go through the whole thing. And so each section has its own issues, right? So you've got the coast that is along the transportation corridor. That is a very strong transportation corridor down here. We also have, San Diego City has had light rail for years. So in many ways, they've already implemented some of these things that the North is trying to do. And they are for sure developing these transit-oriented villages along these transportation corridors, primarily because there isn't any room left to develop. So they're going vertical. They're doing this, the stack and pack.
What is the reaction of the average citizen down there when they see these buildings going up? I mean, I understand the mentality of most people. They ignore this. They don't think it's happening. It's not reported in the newspapers, generally speaking. And it suddenly hits them right between the eyes when they see this giant structure going up down on Main Street, and they say, oh, my God, what's that? And then they find out, but it's kind of too late. So, you know what? Think about your answer on that. We have to take a quick break, and we'll be right back, and we'll find out what my guest, Mary Baker, has to say about that. She is president of the San Diego and Orange County chapter of CAPR, Citizens Alliance for Property Rights. We have that up here, too. It's going on all over the state. Pay attention. I'm Barbara Simpson, 808-5600.
The queen of conservative talk radio, Barbara Simpson, on Hot Talk 560 KSFO.
That's me, Barbara Simpson, right here on 560 on your AM dial, Saturdays and Sundays 4 to 7. We're talking with Mary Baker for a bit this hour, and she is chapter president of the Citizens Alliance for Property Rights in the area of Orange County and San Diego County. Mary, in terms of the reaction of people when they find out what the plans are for their areas, building this stack and pack housing, homes and businesses close to transportation areas. Essentially, they want to get you out of your car is what they're trying to do. What's the reaction of the average citizen when they suddenly realize what's going on around them?
Well, they're not happy about it if they're awake.
That's the key, isn't it?
That's the key. If they really are paying attention, suddenly, they realize. So on the coast in particular, where they're focusing is on the bike modal share. In other words,
what's that?
They're really emphasizing the bikes, the bike lanes. And so they are literally, for example, in Solana Beach, and they're working their way up Encinitas, Carlsbad, all the way to Oceanside. They are starting to close one of the lanes on the PCH.
Pacific Coast Highway. Pacific Coast Highway.
Well,
now, how many lanes are on the highway down there at this point?
Well,
4?
So there are 4.
4, okay.
4, and they're taking away a lane and making it, exclusive to bikes.
So they'll take one lane away and have half of it on one side and half on the other side of the road for bicycles going in opposite directions. So 3 lanes left for traffic.
Exactly, which you can imagine.
Well, now, wait a second.
Congestion.
If it's 3 lanes, does that mean that the third middle lane then becomes only a passing lane?
No, because actually a lot of those lanes already have a divider, especially in those towns that are right up to the beach.
Yeah.
They have a divider, and I haven't been over there to actually see how they've done it. I've only heard complaints from people who are saying it's outrageous, basically the congestion is going up, and of course it's so hypocritical because on the one hand they're saying we have to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, but then they create this congestion with the cars, which is increasing pollution, which is, not good for the bikers, the pedestrians, et cetera. And so they're not, this has been really our point and how we are talking to elected officials down here, which is the smart growth strategies that you're implementing do not work. They do not reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah.
I mean, even CARB, if you look at, and this is what's so wonderful about this, is that if you actually go in and read the reports that they're using to support their plans, you find that when you read the whole thing, it actually counters. They cherry pick the data cluster essentially. So, for example, if you go to the California Air Resources Board on the effective speed on greenhouse gas emissions, what you'll find, they're very graphs that as traffic slows down, greenhouse gases go up. So what are they doing? Right? And so that's when you have to
And that's what they're trying to do up here, too. They want to slow traffic down.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So when you see this hypocrisy and these conflicting goals, and the results, right, the consequences of what they're trying to do doesn't match with their stated claims, then you begin to want to delve into a little bit of, well, then what's the agenda here? What are they trying to achieve? And as you said at the top of this segment, they want to get us out of our cars.
Yeah.
They want to make it so inconvenient for you and so unpleasant that, you will be, have this idea that, oh, well, maybe I just,
They'll just say, oh, darn, I won't drive. But the problem, and certainly I'm not familiar with, the layout of the cities. I've been down there, but not recently, and it's changed, I know, over the years. But here in the Bay Area, when you're driving, you can say, well, you can take BART into the city, for example. But then what do you do when you get to the city? It doesn't always take you near where you need to go, and you have then another problem that goes along with it. They're reducing parking. They're narrowing driving lanes in the suburban areas. I think they call them bubbles or something on the corners where they, when you get to an intersection, the corners used to be right angles and now they're not. They sort of go out like a round bubble. What they're doing is they're making it harder to turn right or left. So you have to really slow down and hope you don't hit the guy coming in the other direction. Are they doing that down there too?
Yeah,
I bet, yeah.
All the road diet. Well, it's actually, there's a law that you have to have these complete streets. I can't remember the AB. I can't remember the number, but yeah, that's a law actually that these towns, these communities have to put in these complete streets.
What's a complete street?
Well, a complete street is exactly what you described.
Oh.
It's these road diets, where they narrow in the roads, where they put in these sections in the middle that narrow the roads, or they do these pop-outs, on the corners, or they put in roundabouts. This is all complete streets, and the whole idea behind it is that there's street equity.
Street equity,
Street equity, so that there's this equal share of walkable, bikeable, road, car, public transportation, so that everyone has an equal share use of that road. And that's why, they do. That's what it's based on.
Do you ever think we're living on the other side of Oz when you hear this kind of information, or Alice in Wonderland? We all fell through the looking glass, and I'm not sure what's on the other side. What? Now,
Exactly.
tell me about your membership.
Well, we just started a year ago, and like I said at the beginning, that the reason we wanted this was so that our activities, we would have this organization behind us.
Okay.
Now that we've been at this for a year, I've been involved in all kinds of initiatives to really fire people up and get them so that I can motivate a base of activism. That's really been my focus. We have been addressing a variety of property rights issues in the county, but now what we're looking to do, now that we've got this base, so we're kind of developing this base, what we'd like to be able to do is begin to grow the membership and rally them around, CAPR, so that, we can, when we go, and we have more and more people going to the city council meetings and the Sandag meetings.
That's very important.
I'm a member of CAPR. Exactly.
That's
I'm a member of CAPR, and blah, blah, blah.
They
exactly.
will not respect you as an individual because they don't really, honestly, they don't really care about the individual. They really don't. I mean, I think that's the basic bottom line of every politician on every level, whether you're talking about Washington or, any local community somewhere. Now tell me, we're going to take another break in a few minutes, but what about your Citizen Ninja training? I love the title. What is all that about?
That's great. Well, exactly my point about motivating a base. I speak all over the place about sustainable development, about all these smart growth strategies and how crazy it is and how they are really attacking our sovereignty and one of our most precious rights, which is property rights.
Yeah.
And I found people would say, well, what can we do about it? And it didn't really have a good answer for them. And I actually felt pretty irresponsible. And people would of course, get really angry. And then they would go in anger and speak to their, city council member, and they would get shut down. Or they scream about, things that would come off as conspiracies. And they would get shut down. And then that was the end of the conversation.
Yeah, well, they're ridiculed for speaking up.
Yes, exactly. So I thought, so what is it that I do? I started thinking, what is it that I do? Because I've been effective. And I started keeping track, and that is the manual, essentially evolved from that. And now I started back in November. I've probably trained close to 300 people just since November. I've had 5 workshops, not just in San Diego. I've had one in Palm Springs. I just did one in Yucca Valley. I went all the way up to Seattle for the CAPR conference, and I trained those property rights activists there. And
so if somebody invites you, you will go in and talk to their people, regardless of where they are.
Exactly.
Oh, good.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So
how do they reach you if they want to reach you for this, Mary?
Well, I can offer my email.
Okay.
And their website that I've created, I've put this under the umbrella of the Society of Free-Range Americans.
Yeah, we're not free-range chickens. We're free-range Americans, right?
We are. We have to, yes, we are free-range Americans. Most of us want to remain free-range Americans. Don't fence us in. Don't limit us. Keep our choices. And so I have this website, Society of FreeRangeAmericans.com.
Okay.
And on there, you can look up the Citizen Ninja training, because what I'd like to do is develop more training under this Society of Free Range Americans. So this is just the beginning. I'd love to do a community organizing training, and how do you do that? I'd like to train people on specific topics having to do with property rights. So it's just the beginning.
And the reaction thus far for what you're doing is pretty good. Sounds like if you've done over 300 people.
Literally, oh my gosh, it's just, I would say 100% thumbs up.
Now there are other. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
People say it's not long enough, and it's already 4.5 hours, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, no one ever says it's not long enough.
Are you charging for it?
Yeah, the only thing I charge is $10 for the manual. And then after that, the host, depending on the cost of the venue or the food, refreshments and that, then they determine the rest of the cost. But I charge $10 for the book. And then if I'm traveling 2 hours or beyond, my traveling expenses.
Okay. That sounds great. Yeah. All right. Hold on for a second. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back, and then we can finish up. We're speaking with my guest, Mary Baker. And remember, I like that. I wrote it down here. I want to get it right. The Society of FreeRangeAmericans.com. That's a great title. We're not free-range chickens. We're free-range Americans, so watch out. We're tough. I'm Barbara Simpson. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Babe in the Bunker on Hot Talk 560 KSFO.
Barbara Simpson here, 808-5600. We're talking to Mary Baker about an organization to protect our property rights. She's down in Southern California. Mary, just out of curiosity, how many other CAPR organizations are there throughout the state? Do you know? I mean, I'm familiar with the one here in the 9-county Bay Area because we've talked about that on my program before. Now you have familiarized us with yours What about others in the state?
There's one in Ventura.
Okay.
And there's one in Pluma Sierra.
Really? I'll be darned. Good for them.
So there's 4. Yeah, and we're always trying to find others. You know, we touch on San Bernardino County and Riverside next to Orange County. And we're always trying to find others who would be willing to start chapters, because the more chapters there are, obviously, the better.
You'll have more clout. There's no question about it. Mm-hmm. What is the reaction of you? You mentioned organizations like the Nature Conservancy and others, the environmental groups. What is their reaction to CAPR?
Fortunately, they don't know about us yet. So,
you're under the radar, huh?
Right. Part of ninja training is being stealthy. No, they really don't. Because we just have not been able. Just 3. There's just 2 of us in San Diego and 1 in Orange County. There's 3 of us on our board right now, and so for right now, we do a lot of behind the scenes work. We will go and say, well, I'm a member of CAPR, but it's not the masses. Of like what Mimi's organized up there and Heather and Arlene. It's not the masses of people that we have down here yet. It's gone a little bit more slowly. They, like I said, they started this a really long time ago, all their planning. And really, San Diego has a very natural urban growth boundary. So they haven't had, just because of its canyons and mesas. Right.
And the border and the ocean. I mean, yeah.
Exactly. And then you have the desert and so on. But one of the things that we're getting ready to target, and I'm beginning to get groups to participate in this, is to address the San Diego City has a draft report out now, Climate Action Mitigation and Adaptation Plan.
Right.
And so they now have this draft. They've been working on it for about 3 years. I've, on and off gone to their meetings to kind of keep track of what they're doing. And at the same time, trying to educate myself on all of this. Because certainly this is not, this never was my area of expertise. And so now CAPR was part of a successful initiative to beat down a climate action plan in Aliso Viejo, which is in Orange County. And what we did there is we have a friendly city council member on over there, and he asked us to look at the plan. It was a 300-page plan called the Green City Initiative. And he said, what I'd like you to do is read this plan and come up with questions for the planner.
Good idea.
Well, between us, the 3 of us, Mike Shaw, I believe, was part of that. There was another colleague out in Rancho Cucamonga, Dan Titus. Between us, and there might have been a few others I don't know about, but we put together 244 factual questions to challenge the plan.
It's almost one question per page. And so did you beat it down? Did they drop it?
Well, yes. So what happened is the city council member took that to the planner about a week before they were going to vote on it at city council meeting. Yeah. And the planner got upset, of course, and he said, well, I can't answer all these questions. And he went to the city attorney, and the attorney said, you have to answer the questions. The city council member has these questions. You have to answer the questions. Well, he couldn't do it. So by the time the city council meeting came, the city council member, Mike Muzzing, had organized a whole bunch of people to come, including David Spady of American for Prosperity. And we all were there. We all presented, again, factual rebuttal, questions and statements to the plan. And really, by the end of the evening, there was nothing they could do, and they tabled it.
Good for you. I mean, see, that's where organization and planning ahead really makes all the difference in the world, and it's just very, very hard to get people to do. And I can't let you go without thanking you for what you did for me. And this is something that I just got the award in the mail yesterday, as a matter of fact. It is from the Citizens Alliance for Property Rights. Folks, you need to know I was given their annual award, and I'm really quite honored. It says, Dear Ms. Simpson, enclosed is the 2013 McFarland Award, with which we are pleased and proud to honor you. The award was presented in recognition of the person we feel has done the most to preserve and protect property rights in the preceding year. Your role in defending private property rights in a region that has embraced the misguided dangerous and apocryphal philosophy of the collective is inspirational. I love it. I'm going to fly the flag on that one. Mary Baker, president of our San Diego Orange County chapter, accepted the award in your name. She did an excellent job. You must know that Daryl Johnson said that. You did an excellent job of reading my acceptance speech, and the presentation was the final event of the evening. It was a banquet and had other speakers. Thank you for your uncompromising and relentless stance in defense of our constitutional rights. I hope soon you can come out of your bunker and bask in the light of freedom, a freedom you helped restore. And that was from Daryl Johnson, who is the vice president of CAPR. So, and you did that for me, and I want to thank you for reading my acceptance. It was, folks, it was a couple of weekends ago, and it was up in Seattle, and I was not able to be there. So Mary did that for me. Did they have a nice crowd?
Oh, they had a wonderful crowd. It was a great event. I'd never been to one of those events before, and it was fun to do the workshop, and then it was fun to go to the banquet and hear Randall O'Toole, who I'd never heard him speak before.
Oh, he's terrific.
And,
he's been a guest on my program. He's wonderful.
Oh, yeah, he's great. What I love about him is he's just hilarious, but he never cracks a smile.
I don't know what he looks like. I've never seen him in person to talk
he's
to.
Bone dry humor, and it's just wonderful. I really enjoyed meeting him, and I really enjoyed getting the culture up there.
Yeah.
And hearing what, in Washington, they're just going through the same shenanigans as
always.
What, we're going down here, and it's really fun. Actually, on the one hand, I'm fighting and helping people with property rights, and then on the other hand, I'm doing this workshop, and it's such a positive experience to teach people. This is not only what you can do, but this is how you can be effective so that you're going to keep going at it, because the last thing we want is for an activist to go out there, have a bad experience, and say, well, I'm never going to do that again.
Right.
And then you've lost someone. And even though I definitely, was a beginner at this few years ago, and I learned the hard way, I'm just the kind of person that would say, well, I guess I'm not going to do it that way again.
Yeah.
I'd go back at it and find a more effective way to communicate. And it's really fun to work with people and teach them that. And I'm really looking forward to coming up to Alameda. Mimi Steele is hosting the next Citizen Ninja workshop that I'm going to next weekend.
Oh, okay.
And I just can't wait to work with them, this coalition of citizens who are fighting One Bay Area, because clearly now that they've agreed on this regional plan, despite opposition, it's going to have to go to a local level. That's where the fight's going to have to go. And so these people, need to have the tools and tactics in order to be able to have a debate, a civil debate, a communication, a way to communicate.
I'll tell you, Mary, the thing that I have found in the meetings that I've gone to and talked with various local officials and even just citizens trying to sort of fire them up to go to the meetings and say something, is they say, it's the law. This is what we have to do. It's a state law. It's bill number whatever. And, it's like, okay, it's the law. We will just follow orders. And they just assume that you can't fight, that you can't argue, that you can't change it. Yeah. And that's the biggest battle you have, is getting people out of their houses because maybe they can do something.
Yeah. Well, some of it is required, but some of it isn't.
Right.
And like I was saying earlier, a lot of the strategies that they want to implement simply won't work. And, basically the people who approved this plan they are listening to the experts. And the experts have an agenda to implement smart growth, high densification, transportation, public transportation, et cetera. And really, the elected officials, they don't know any better. They don't have a degree in planning and science and all of this stuff, and so they just rely on these experts. And so we actually created a report called Dimensions of Sustainability to help these elected officials navigate these smart growth strategies. And the beauty of the report is that we used like I said earlier, all of their own reports to counter the claims that they're making, so that they have a leg to stand on.
That's good.
So that they can say, you know what, you say that the population is X. This population projection, but actually those numbers were changed following the 2010 census, and yet you're still focusing on those old population projections.
Which is the basis for how many units of housing they're saying that they're going to have to build in every little community everywhere. So,
in fact, in Hollywood, a judge ruled on the side of the citizens against the city council for exactly that, for having the wrong population projection. So they won that on that technicality.
That's great. Well, listen, you guys are doing a great job, Mary. Thank you so very much for all your work.